2 weeks, March 17th, he is going to be, this is his last briefing, his last day on C-line, last day actually working. So, we'd like to present you, Eric. We have to put this together real quick.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, the Genesee County Sheriff's Office would like to extend appreciation to Sergeant Eric K. Seppala for over 21 years of dedicated professional service as a member of the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Seppala began his career on August 17, 1996 as a correction officer in the jail. On May 15, 1999, he was appointed deputy sheriff and then promoted to sergeant on January 18, 2014. During his tenure, Eric has earned 6 commendations, was assigned to the crash management team, was a field training officer, and was instrumental in the research of acquiring rifles for our patrol vehicles. Deputy Seppala has served the Genesee County Sheriff's Office and the citizens of Genesee County with professionalism, dedication, enthusiasm, and has been a source of pride for the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation and thanks. Eric,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Any words?
Very few. It's a sad. I know. Some people will say that I never stop talking, but it's been an honor to serve with each and every one of you. I'm going to miss every one of you. This has been the best career I've had so far, and this is just moving on. I hope you guys don't forget me. If you ever need anything, anytime, anywhere, I will be home. I've talked to a couple of the guys and said for the crashes and things, if anything's needed, please get a hold of me. But anybody needs anything, please let me know. It's been my privilege to be with you, and I hope you all stay safe, and we continue on from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's your retirement wallet.
Okay.
Don't look inside.
Okay.
We have ordered up your credentials. We will have them for you by hopefully by the 17th.
Send it.
Hey, Joe! Out and out! Easy! Out!
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you very much.
Out!
We deal with the things that most people might read about in the paper. A lot of things we deal with nobody ever reads about, nobody ever knows about. And that's part of our job, is to deal with situations that other people aren't prepared to and keep everybody else safe, keep those people safe and sound if we possibly can. You know, I've never been involved in a shooting, personally shot at anybody. I have been involved in a couple of homicides. The one in Leroy where we had the gentleman walk down the road and execute his neighbor and walk back. There was myself and 2 other deputies working. That was it that night. By the time we ended up handling that, we had half of Monroe County, half of the state police from Western New York, and our guys out there. But that started off with myself and 2 deputies and one of the Village of Leroy police officers who's been a friend of ours. I mean, I can't say enough about the other departments. We work very well together, everybody across the board. Ryan Young, who is now one of our deputies, volunteered to go out and help my deputy before I could get it. When that shooting came in Leroy, my other deputy and I were at the Flying J truck stop in Pembroke, all the way across the county. Wow. So by the time I got there, Ryan and Joe Loftus were there. They had found the victim. We were looking for the suspect, and Ryan actually offered, because what he did is he shot his neighbor, went down the road and started his house on fire. And as that was going, Ryan volunteered to go down the road, said, "Hey, Sarge, you want me to go cover that while you guys are here taking care of this until you get some guys here?" And I said, "Sure." So he goes down to help out the fire guys, and that's when he started, the guy started shooting at them. And then we all, of course, went down the road, and he shot 7, 8, 9, 10 times. When we ended up taking, like 6 hours later, we took him into custody. He wasn't hurt. Nobody else was hurt. No more shots fired. It was close at times, but our guys showed incredible restraint in that situation, and everybody went home safe. That's one of my proudest moments, but I'm proudest of the guys who were there. I mean, being the supervisor, I wanted to run into the middle of it, and at times, at the very beginning of it, I was running up and down the road because I'd start running into it, and I'd know that I can't do that. I have to turn around and go back and run it, but there was only 3 of us to begin with, so it was a very frustrating situation, very difficult situation, but the guys handled it perfectly, and the guys who came in, and the SWAT guys and the ERT guys, when Monroe County showed up with their Bearcats, their armored vehicles, that gave us a very easy way to approach them. At least we got up and talked to them, and the guys talked to them for, I think it was for 40 or 50 minutes, and finally he put the gun down, and the guys there were 2 Bearcats, the other one, the guys had snuck up by him, and when he put the gun down and stepped away from it, they tackled him, and we took him into custody, and nobody got hurt. And the only individual hurt was the original victim, who he shot in his house, a neighbor. And it was, when that happened, I was glad that it was over. Like I said, very proud. Everybody involved in that did one hell of a job.
After that incident, is that when you started thinking about things are changing here?
Somewhat. I mean, we deal with gun calls fairly regularly, being a rural county.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guns are an everyday fact of life for most people, and I am very pro that. I'm very much a firearms enthusiast and hunter myself, and I'm very much for that. We deal with people, and most people will tell you what's going on. You stop a car, they'll tell you they have a handgun with them, or there's a long gun in it. You know, they're very respectful. But those kind of things, we're getting more and more of those things. We had the attempted murder this summer. Who was in charge? I was. It seemed like when the big things happened, I happened to be around. And I was here. I left the office and was one of there was one car literally 10 yards in front of me and myself when we found the victim, and we started investigating that scene. You know, he was stabbed multiple times in the throat and upper chest. It hasn't gone to trial yet. The individuals were supposed friends, but that was another thing that we were out there all night long, working on that all night long, but that went real well. The city police the next day ended up finding the individual walking down one of the streets, took him into custody, and again, nobody else was hurt. And the more we found out about that, the individual was charged with attempted murder and is sitting in the jail right now waiting trial. Mm-hmm. So it's been, I've seen, we didn't see as many, those kind of things. They happened every once in a while when I first started, but there have been a lot more of them. They seem to be moving more this way. Mm-hmm. A couple summers ago, we started seeing gang activity pretty regularly, and that's not necessarily, that's not going away. If anything, it's getting bolder. Mm-hmm. You know, we put some of them away and it quiets down for a little while, and then they come back up. And most of that's in the city of Batavia. When it happens there, it impacts everybody. Mm-hmm. And on nights it was happening, every cop in the county was going to the city because stuff was going on. So, mm-hmm. You know, it's definitely changing.
Any words of wisdom you want to leave anybody who's getting into this field or who's new here?
This is a calling. If you're not called to this, you're not going to get rich doing this job. You're going to be away from your family nights, weekends, holidays. When your family's all together, you're going to be out doing something, so it's truly a calling. But if you're called to this, there's no better career. I have had multiple careers before I came here. I was in the military, I was a tool and die maker, I was a quality control inspector in a food plant. I've done a lot of things, and I would not trade this for anything. This is by far the best job out there, but if you're called to it, take it and go. So it's got some bumps in it, but you'll never meet more loyal people, better people. You'll deal with the best people in the county and the worst people in the county. But you'll always have your friends and the people that you work with to fall back on, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.